my name is Mara Augustine. I like to think of myself as a creative and open minded person. I believe there's value in open mindedness, acceptance, and mindfulness in understanding both myself and others. But my initial thoughts on this course was that race, gender, and class were separate issues. Race being about skin color, gender being about identity, and class was about social standing and money. Through this class, though, I've learned each of these are deeply connected and interacted. To explain what I've learned, I want to use one of my favorite childhood stories, The Name Jar by Yang Suk Choi. In the book, a girl named Yune feels pressure to change her Korean name so she can fit in. Yune's story became a metaphor for me as I reflected on race, gender, and class. In the name jar, Yune worries that her name makes her stand out. This reminded me of how race works in society. Race is not biological, it's a social construct, but it shapes how people are treated. In Yune's case, she experiences some of the prejudices of race because of her name. This is often the case in the United States, where code switching and changing names to sound more Americanized are strategies minority groups use to fit in with the dominant group. In the reading Learning to Be Illegal, it was explained that immigrants struggle with identity and belonging. Just like Yune's classmates judged her name, people of different races, and especially immigrants, are often judged, marginalized, and pressured to erase parts of themselves in order to be accepted. This story also connects to gender. Yune's classmates suggested names that they thought were normal and acceptable. This reminded me of how gender expectations and norms work. Society often tells us what roles we should play or how we should act. In class, I learned that gender is also socially constructed, and sexism is discrimination based on gender. This limits opportunities by enforcing stereotypes and unequal treatment. These stereotypes restrict people's choices and opportunities. For example, when we discussed the gender pay gap, we saw how women are often expected to take on more childcare responsibilities, which results in fewer opportunities and lower pay compared to their male counterparts. Yune's struggle to choose a normal name mirrors how women are pressured to conform to gendered expectations, and just as her identity was undervalued, women's contributions are also often undervalued through stereotypes like being a child care burden. Another lesson I took from the name jar is about power and class. The classmates had the power to decide what names were acceptable, while Yune felt she had less control. This reflects how class works in society. Those with more privilege often set the standards. Class is once again also a social construct, and it refers to the social and economic position of somebody. And classism is discrimination based on class. In class, I learned that economic inequality intersects with race and gender, shaping who has access to opportunities and who faces barriers. For example, Bowles and Gintes explain that working class children might be taught that classical music is superior to popular music, and that it is too difficult for them to understand, whereas middle class children are taught how to appreciate it. This highlights the power dynamic. Those in privilege define what is valuable and normal, while others are excluded. Just like Yune's classmates tried to decide which names were acceptable, class privilege allows certain groups to set standards, leaving others feeling marginalized or undervalued. This class has taught me that race, gender, and class are not isolated categories, but overlapping systems that shape identity and opportunity. What I found most powerful and most important is realizing that one situation, like Yune's struggle with her name, can illustrate many forms of inequality at once. Her story connects to race through identity, to gender through expectations, and to class through power dynamics. In the same way, real-life experiences often reveal how racism, sexism, and classism intersect. By learning to see these connections, I've grown more mindful of how inequality operates, not only in stories but also in my everyday life. Now and in the future, I can apply intersectionality to better understand others' experiences and to challenge discrimination. In this way, the lessons from this class will continue to guide me towards being a more thoughtful, inclusive, and mindful person. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for a new video.